Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this: you are divine. God has exploded in a Crab Nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I Am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all the people, Christians run around, I told you they think they're God. I don't think anything on the side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? Hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I will be continuing my Neptune through the sign series with Neptune and Gemini. So Neptune, Gemini rules the third house, and it's ruled by Mercury. It's short distance travel, communication, thoughts, siblings, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, cars, your daily routine and things you do on a daily basis, like running errands and stuff like that. It's appliances, phones, apps, emails, any form of communication, news and information, childhood education, learning, studying, reading, writing. It also rules like vocational skills. And Neptune, sign symbols, synchronicities, daydreaming, dreams, sleep, the subconscious mind, mental health, sickness, hospitals, faith, any kind of spiritual practice, prison, mental prison, illusions, delusions, lack of direction, lack of focus, imagination, care and compassion, unconditional love. And so somebody with this placement can have siblings that are like potheads, or very airy-fairy, or they can have like this healing energy or be healers, very spiritual. They can daydream a lot or have a really vast imagination, talk in circles or riddles, like Cat in the Hat. Or they can be very inspiring or have inspiring words with some kind of wisdom, like Buddha. They can have compassion for people who have sickness or health issues or mental health issues. They can be very soft-spoken. These people might even like not care for their car, or have like troubles with their car where they're always losing their car keys or something like that, or like their car is always getting broken into. They could have trouble with like running errands, or it can just be really confusing where they kind of spend hours in one store and maybe even store hop. Window shoppers, or they're just easily distracted. Like you go in there for one thing and come out with a whole bunch of other stuff. They may not see things clearly. or like constantly misunderstand people. They can also be very psychic and intuitive. Um, these people want to reach a higher consciousness on a daily basis. You might receive and process information on from multiple dimensions or different levels. It's really an amazing gift to have. You might have access into different realms and have the ability to communicate that to others. It can also be very scatterbrained. Um, you can be forgetful and might overlook details. You can also have trouble focusing during early education, especially if it doesn't stimulate you. So you daydream or drift off to escape. Now, I do have Neptune in the third house, but it's in Sagittarius. And so I can relate to a lot of this stuff as a little girl. I would twirl around in the mirror whenever my dad put music on. I come from a very musical family and background. My mom sang in the church, and my dad just loved music. Like he put us on to all like the hip music and stuff, especially like movies, old school movies. My mom is a sci-fi fanatic, and she likes like weird movies about like people being lost in a boat out in the ocean type movies. You know the ones I'm talking about. She likes alien movies and shit like that. um and these can definitely be like Piscean themes or themes that you might be able to relate to. Um I definitely had a big imagination as a child. Definitely had a lot of dreams, bad dreams too, because of I think everything that I was exposed to, and my conscious or subconscious mind was just trying to understand everything that I was learning at such a young age. Um, and so daydreaming is definitely something as a young child that I did quite often to escape or just to find answers. Um, as I grew older, that process is still, I'm very much airy fairy and like, la la la. I definitely live in my head and drift off to other places. I kind of created my own world in my head as a way to escape my immediate environment or just like problems and things that I have going on. It's how I find answers, it's how I meditate. It is a form of meditation. But now it's a little bit more different where I might not be twirling around in the mirror, but I will listen to music. Like everywhere I go, I have to have my headphones on. I don't like other people in my energy, and it kind of doesn't allow me to really focus. I get lost easily. My lack of I have a lack of direction wherever I am. It's quite comical. But I could definitely relate to a lot of this stuff. And so some people could who have this placement might be able to relate to that. Um, especially when I'm walking. I think I'm a better navigator in the car, but walking for some reason, like, wasn't I just here? I might have trouble finding stuff, or everything looks the same. It's like, wasn't I just over here? Following simple directions is like, what did they say again? Go this way, go that way. And so if I don't write stuff down, I will forget. I won't get things done on my daily routine if I don't write it down. Like I have a calendar of like step by step what I need to do for the day. Because I will forget, like it will not get done. I much rather sit in my bed and daydream all day and just be in my head and surf the net, and those things make me very happy. I'm sad to say that. But you might like gloss over problems or toxic relationships. Um, and you might have put people or your siblings or family on a pedestal. Um, as a way to um deal or process stuff. Or that Neptune energy tends to be very agreeable because we want to help everybody and make everything comfortable for them. And so there's a tendency to not see people for who they are at face value. And so over time, there's a process of having to learn how to take your time and really gauge whether or not this person is worth being given such high value or um, uh, being put on a pedestal. Um, you might need a lot of alone time to recharge and process information. This is so true, especially because Gemini and Neptune together in that way consume a lot of information together. That's what the two do. And so um, when you can consume a lot of information from different realms, you have to sift through it. And Gemini is like putting puzzle pieces together. Um, it actually likes Mercury specifically likes to break things apart to put them back together. And so we consume information in bits and pieces, and then we have to put the story together. And so that might need playing around with the different pieces. You might even like games. Like I love solitaire for no reason at all, except for the fact that it allows me to put things in order. Like Spider Solitaire, that is my favorite game in the whole wide world. And so you people might like playing little games like that as a way to process information or to escape or to not think at all. Um, and so you might really require a lot of alone time so that you can put puzzle pieces together of all the information that has been gathered. And so it's also super important to remember to allow people into your space and make sure you're not leaving people out or making them feel um, like you are not paying them any attention. This could be a problem in relationships, in all kinds of relationships, of people around you who you spend a lot of time with. Like as a mom, I think I've mastered blocking my kids out, but when I know it's serious, I understand, okay, I gotta snap out of it. Um, yeah. I feel like I could say so much more about that, but it's essentially about wraps it up. Um, so yeah, your perception of people might be delayed. Um, so you could be easily manipulated. You want others to be comfortable before you are. And so again, realizing um that about yourself when, you know, as time goes by, you really begin to understand like, oh, there's a process to this. You know, you have to ask questions, engage, and really figure out if people are who they say they are so that you aren't constantly being disappointed. Um, you might value information and knowledge, especially about the unknown, higher consciousness, and spirituality. But again, as a young person, until you grow into this over time, you will begin to realize that this is a gift that you can become a teacher in some way, shape, or form, or a guide or a mentor to others. Um, but that takes time to kind of realize that ability is a gift. to be able to consume so much information. It can almost be like an insatiable appetite for knowledge, information, and higher consciousness. And because Neptune energy can be so airy-fairy, it's just like, oh, that's knowledge, and I really like that, so I'm just going to consume it. But again, over time, you'll learn that it is a gift, and you will become some kind of teacher, mentor, or something within that field. You can do this through painting, writing, poetry, music, photography, dance, and multiple other ways too. This person can be very shy and socially awkward. You might have had communication issues or dyslexia or a hard time focusing and paying attention. Or lost a sibling that caused some kind of guilt. Or kind of felt like you didn't belong, like you didn't fit in with the rest of your siblings. Especially all at a younger age until you kind of grew into this. It kind of reminds me of like somebody who lives in their head so much that when it comes actually time to talk, you don't quite know how to express it or speak correctly. Or the words just kind of disappear when it comes time to talk. It could be like some form of social anxiety too. But that's just how it plays out at a younger age because again, you're still learning what this gift is for you. And so that could have been a little bit difficult growing up. I actually think that I still do that, if I'm being super honest. The only time I notice I can really talk the way I want to talk is when I'm doing these videos. Because it's like everything starts to come together. This is why I always tell people when I do my different transits and stuff, that consuming knowledge, and it doesn't have to be just spiritual or and particularly to this, I mean just in general, when the more knowledge you consume, what happens is through life the things start to come together and build that bigger puzzle piece of your life that allows you to understand things on a different level. It's a more of a subconscious level, right? I think I used the example of like when I taught in prison, how you manifest things is by, like, for example, the car example that I always use. Um, if you are looking for a new car and you've got an idea of what kind of car you want, now you have to find it and what color you want and think about all those different pieces. And so when you start looking for all the different pieces and you're like, ooh, I want that one like that, but I don't want that window on the top. I don't want none of that. I want like a fin in the back or some nice wheels, whatever it is, you start to kind of look for all those things. And then you got to find the dealer who has that car the closest. And then, you got to go there, you got to get it. But all that information that you're gathering now are pieces that are going to start to come together to form in the physical, right? And so you know how every time you buy a car, by taking that process, and then you start seeing that car everywhere you go. That's kind of what Neptune and Gemini energy is. Whether you have Neptune and Gemini or not, this process is a process of manifestation, right? And so the more knowledge you consume, it really kind of comes together and starts to form your reality. So it's like super important to be mindful of what you consume on a regular basis and how much of it you do consume, because it will become you. Um, and so in that way, these people can have great imaginations, be great storytellers, especially kids with disabilities or sign language or any kind of cultural things. Doesn't really have to be those things, but it could be. Um, you can also inspire others, especially through spiritual knowledge. So I really love this placement. Obviously, it's kind of resonates with me. As usual, fam, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.